Hi, I'm Mike Cervino from Beacon Fire Consulting, coming to you from our lodge right here in our office building. I've been thinking a lot the last few weeks as we approach the end of the year about resolutions that I'm personally going to make to change next year. And for those of you who know me, there's a lot of things to choose from. But then I was also reflecting on some conversation going on the web around consultants and others in the nonprofit sector about what nonprofits can do for New Year's resolutions with respect to their online programs. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm not going to spend your precious time talking about why it's important that we keep the people we have, how much less costly it is, etc. Age-old wisdom, you all know it. What I want to focus on are 5 things that your organization can do to keep the people that you have and get more out of that universe of folks who are already committed. So number 1, I am going to look at my data, I'm going to analyze it, and I'm going to understand the trends and the triggers around retention and attrition in my constituent base. In particular, I want to be looking for patterns and moments in time when I can identify someone's highly at risk, that they are going to drop off. A lot of conversation going on around welcome series. Someone comes on, how do you engage them in the first 60, 30, 25 days? Critically important. That is probably the number 1 area in terms of attrition to focus on. But also look at other clusters where someone has taken maybe an action or 2 and time is passing between those gaps greater than the time between those 2 actions. That's a key indicator that someone's losing attention. Change it up on those folks. Send them something different to do. Ask them to engage a little bit differently. We'll come back to that one in just a minute. So focus. That's number 2. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on constituent groups that really matter in terms of if we make a change to the attrition rate. There's value in that. 10,000 people in a particular cluster that I can affect the attrition rate by 5%, pretty good number of people. But 100 people that I can affect the attrition rate by 50%, and those people are donors and means dollars, that could be more important for your organization. Use criteria to decide what groups are worth spending time, money, and dollars on affecting change, because doing so is less costly for your organization, resource and time consuming, than going out and getting a new person to get that done. So focus. Resolution number 3. I'm going to recognize when my engagement tactics are old, tired, and boring my constituents. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to throw some different tactics at people. I'm going to try things that I haven't done before. I'm going to push my organization to do some different tactics and see what happens. Here's the rub about changing up your tactics. What's important for the mission, what's important for the outcome, may be different than what's interesting for someone to do, leaves them feeling like they've made a contribution, even though it may not truly make political difference or humanitarian development difference. We need to understand and recognize that it's how people feel about our organization that drives them to give, and the tangible facts and practical results can reinforce that. But if they don't feel like they're making a difference through you, they're going to go find another organization who does make them feel like they're making a difference. So you got to compete on what they want. Number 4, I'm going to resolve that I'm going to actually ask my constituents what they might be interested in doing, what they might want to help out on. A little bit of survey, a little bit of pick 20 people, send them a personal email, engage them directly. Hey, even better, get 100 volunteers on your list who are going to do it for you. The point of it is conversation, dialogue. I ask you, I hear you, I change up. It's a reflection of the personal connection that you're going to have with your donors, that they're going to feel, or your advocates, and that they're going to feel. But it is also research insight to understand what it is about your messaging that they don't like. Don't expect a lot in terms of what it is they do want. They're not the marketing experts. You are. So take the upper hand, reach out, engage them in conversation, and see where it might lead you. Heck, even put forward the proposal that you've got a campaign coming up and you want your community to drive what the tactics for that campaign ought to be. Get your super activists involved, or get your most frequent donors involved, or get those who click through most on your newsletter to get involved and give you that feedback on, got ideas about some things we could do? You'll be amazed at the creativity of your constituent base. Remember, the group is smarter than the individual. That's why we seek constituents, because they are more powerful with us than you alone, behind your desk, watching this, thinking about what can I come up with? What can the community come up with? Try that. So number 5, I resolve that I'm going to measure and modify. I am going to take the time out from the doing to reflect on, have I made the improvements that we set out to make in the first place with the target groups that are important to me at a level for the resources and the dollars that makes sense to keep doing what we're doing. I'm going to modify if that's not the case. And I'm going to do it quickly. And I'm going to be trying new things. I'm going to be adapting, but I'm going to be doing it on the basis of what the data tells me I should do, not just what I think I need to do. Look for those changes in trends, those changes in triggers. That's the key. And let's remember that the longer you don't look at the data to analyze whether or not you are making the difference, the more you're going to continue to do things that are boring your constituents. And if you do that, they're going to look elsewhere and you're going to lose them. So, resolve that you're going to retain your constituents next year. So I'm resolved that I'm going to do more to retain my constituents. And I hope you're going to resolve to do that as well. So, thank you for joining me. I'm Michael Cervino, coming to you from the Lodge. Time to sign off, and I'll see you on Beacon Firewire.